Hi, Matthew. I'm very much into your poems this week. I thought both of them were creative. I thought you went, a little bit further and a little bit deeper into the prompts. And I love to see that. So I just wanted to let you know that overall, I think both of them are fantastic. And what you did with the prompts were super original. So, first, let's talk about the game. I know you said you were struggling to communicate the meaning of this poem. Did the meaning come through? And are the images I used confusing to the plot of the poem? So, what I want to tell you is how I interpret this after reading it a handful of times. My sense of the plot is that it's actually a soccer game. That's what I saw. I saw a soccer game in terms of the white lines on the green, in terms of the shoes trampling and digging up the grass, um, in terms of the giant boulder ball. I thought this would be a soccer ball. That's how I interpreted it. So the thing that was interesting to me about what you did with this is that it seemed like the perspective of the poem was not from the soccer players or the audience necessarily. It was from the creatures that are under the grass as the grass was being torn up. It's from a being in the sky, right? That's looking down and criticizing the destruction that's happening as a result of this game. So it seemed like game was somewhat ironic in terms of the title. So that's what I walked away with. I hope that's helpful in terms of you moving forward with this work to hear that particular interpretation. Please keep in mind that I'm one person, one voice, one interpretation. For the second one, you asked if your poem makes sense. I noticed a lot of run on off sentences and words that might make the poem confusing. What I want to say about that is the beautiful thing about poetry is that we don't have to follow grammar rules. It's not the same as prose. We don't have to have complete sentences. We don't even have to really worry if our lines make sense. So, poetry is this exploration of expression and of voice. And although, it's always as a writer helpful for your readers to understand you, right? To understand your work, and there is a drive for that. I think as writers, we want to be understood. But the beautiful thing about the form of poetry is that we get to mess around with language in such a way that we don't have to worry about grammar rules. So I wouldn't worry too much about that. So in terms of the meaning in your poem, I wanted to tell you what I got out of it. Um, what I got out of it was a sense that the voice of the poem was coming from someone who had been going through change, had resisted going through change, perhaps physical change, or the way that they present themselves to the world. And um, sort of questioning, coming from a past of questioning themselves and if they should change, but deciding to change, actually making that decision to change and to transform. Because it's not about being new. This transformation isn't about becoming new, it's about becoming whole and becoming an authentic version of you, right? The you of the speaker of the poem. So that's what I got out of it. I thought it's beautifully written. I love that you chose this form to trace TC's poem. And I mean, I'm a big fan of TC's work, especially his Dear Melissa poems. I think they're brilliant. And this addressing of past selves and how that influences our current selves. So that's kind of the sense I got from this poem. I hope that's also helpful in your edits moving forward. Okay, well, have a wonderful weekend, Matthew. Thank you so much for your beautiful work, and I look forward to reading more.